god. The bunnies are here too. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I promise I tried. I tried to make sure everything was okay. I even gave them snacks. I tried to bribe them, and it didn't work. But welcome to the late night Wikipedia read. In which I'm sure everything is going to go terribly incorrectly for no reason of my own, probably just, you know, because I'm me. Yay. It also might be a vaguely short stream, given that I am, oh my fucking god, really? I am still a little bit sick. Yes, but I am doing much, much better, so yes. But I hope everyone's doing well. Happy Tuesday. Oh my god, look at us go. We're over the beginning of the week already. Oh, I've got so much to do. I've got so much to do. Oh, fuck it. Fuck. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sure everything will be fine. It's okay. It's fine. Everything is good. Happy birthday, Sarah. Happy birthday. And I missed you guys too, Remo. I did also miss you guys. Which is why I was like, you know what, fuck it. We're gonna do the wiki read anyway, even if the throat's a little bit unhappy still. If it does get too bad, maybe I'll just switch over to the other mic and end up doing like a Zatsu. But it is what it is, you know? Ooh, I also, wait, I want to try something. I don't know what this is going to sound like, because I haven't had the chance yet. I got some silly sounding things. figured if I already have you guys here. What is it? It's a sleep mask. Squishy, sloshy sleep mask. The other side is fluffy. That's pretty fun. I think I'll use that. And then I have another thing too. That I also not. Oop! Sorry, that was louder than I thought it was gonna be. Can I get this out of here without wanting to die? Why are boxes difficult? Sorry. This box is gonna go over here, and then I'm gonna pretend it doesn't exist. I'm sorry. But it's cool. I love water noises, so I wish I could find bigger ones so I could get more of the blub noises. They make a fun noise when they clink together too, but that means going back into Box of Doom, and I don't want to do that. But I think I do want to do an attempt at like a proper noises, triggers, ASMR sometime soon. So I've been trying to like collect a couple of things that I think people might like, or that I might like. Yeah. Right. There also probably won't be chair noises today, for once. Because I moved over one of the kitchen chairs, so a wooden chair, although I'm sitting on top of a plushie. I couldn't find a blanket or a pillow, so plushie it is. Yeah, but because of that, you'll probably hear like rubby noises as I move, or like shirt noises. What's the plushie in question? It's a bunny. Not gonna lie, the majority of my plushies are bunnies or Bulbasaurs, so this one in particular, I believe it was an IKEA plushie originally. That sounds not good. Not gonna do that one. Do I have a Bulba bunny? No. Although that sounds like it would be either very cute or an absolute abomination. Is that thigh sound? Yeah. I tend to fidget a lot, and usually you guys can't hear me when I like move or fidget or like tap, but you can with this mic. And also, I'm not sitting normally because this chair is a bar stool, so it's only about a foot shorter than my desk. So I'm perched with like my knees up and my feet on the chair, which means that if I do this, it's essentially it's the same level as the mic is. So that's why like noises of me wrestling and moving are going to be a lot more audible. Yeah. But I got sick and tired of having to hear my creaky computer chair when we do like wiki reads and stuff. The bar stool is definitely not lucky. Usually it just sits there and gets covered in random shit, like bunny food or hay, or like if I get takeout and I'm chilling in the living room watching TV, usually the girls on the big screen. Because it is the only chair I have in my house. I've got my computer chair, I've got this bar stool, and I've got a couch. I mean, I do have another chair as well, but that one stays in my bedroom, because that one was a present from Hart when I first moved into this place, and he like reupholstered it and shit for Christmas, so so the bunnies aren't allowed to be near it, yeah. But I do like live by myself, so it doesn't really make sense to have a ton of chairs or anything. Is it the cuck chair? So the chair that is away from the bunnies, the reupholstered chair, that may be in the corner of my bedroom. And I didn't think about it until just now, but yeah, I suppose it is, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of positioned the same way that the hotel chairs are, so yeah, I guess that is indeed the cuck chair. But who is it for? Yeah, that's the thing. I guess I can lay on the bed and sit in the chair. No one's actually seeing shit all if they sit there, even if there is a ghost, so... If I have guests over, where do they sit? I've had 3 guests, maybe 4, in my house the entire time I've lived here, and 3 of them are family. Maybe 5 then. Yeah, the friend who lived with me for a little bit, and the friend who helped move me in, yeah. I don't let anyone visit me. I go visit other people. My home is my space. I'm very protective of it. Yes, on the floor, and that's why my family also doesn't generally visit me, and I go visit them instead. Even if it is like a 2+ hour trip each way. Yeah. So, do I sit in the chair? No. The only chairs that I sit in are for when I'm on the computer. If I'm in the living room, I'm on the floor. And if I'm in my bedroom, I'm in the bed. Yeah. Because generally speaking, I don't ever sit in like couches or anything. Which I know is a little bit weird, but it's just because, like, growing up there were 3 spots on the couch. So Mon, Pa Hart, and then Bro Hart, because he's the younger one. So yeah, I always sat on the floor when we watched TV and stuff, and now it's just kind of a habit. It feels weird to sit on couches. Yeah. So I nap on the floor, I sit on the floor, I read books on the floor. Yeah. Yeah, Meeta's hat, just chilling. On the proverbial coat chair, I suppose. Yeah. Although, I don't think Meeta would want that to be known, so don't tell her that she's in the coat chair, okay? I think she would find that vaguely uncomfortable. Speaking of Meeta, though, if you were in her stream earlier today, she was talking about, like, the type of guy she likes. So, you know, if you're a Meeta fan and you want to know. But also, it reminded me that there's one particular character for fan art that I suppose Meeta and I share the type of. I don't even remember his name anymore. I've not actually seen the show. It's from Dungeon Meshi, and I think it's the first character that is not a red flag that I've ever been like, they're hot. Yeah. It's only ever been fan art, but no, it's the first apparently non-red flag character that I've ever liked. I don't know what his name is. Meeta said it earlier as well. But like, it's because I think a lot of main characters in anime are always like, if they're muscular, they're just like super muscular and skinny, and you like, yeah, Laos, yeah, no, it was like, you know, there was a tummy, and they were like healthy, but like it wasn't like, ooh, I'm strong muscle guy with like fucking veins and shit. I was like, okay. It was very much a taken off guard moment for me. No, it was not the dwarf. Although apparently he's a fun character as well. As I said, I haven't actually seen the show yet. It is on my to-watch list. But me and Meeta were bonding over that earlier, just because, like, she likes muscles, and apparently also chubby guys, and I was like, this, I like this. I didn't know I liked this, but I like this. So we bonded over that today, so that was fun. We're talking about Dungeon Meshi? Yeah. Fan art of it, specifically. I was trying to see if I sent one particular art to Meeta as well when she was like, which character? But for some reason, there's also a lot of fan art that's really annoying. Because it's once again that like stereotype for anime where they're just like really buff but with like no body fat at all. I don't know about that. I'm not overly fond of that, honestly. Which is probably one of the reasons why I've never been like super into a lot of like lead characters when it comes to anime. They don't look comfy at all. So what's the point? Leave muscles for Meeta. no problem with muscles, just, you know, not when it's like, you like your guys to be realistic? Yeah, to some extent. I don't know, whenever I see characters that are like very, very muscular but incredibly low, like, body fat percentages, like you look like a fitness influencer or something, I'm not into that. That's not a body type that I necessarily, like, enjoy. I know that Meeta does enjoy that as well. But, yeah. Although I guess someone was also saying, like, oh, dad bod, and I was like, yeah, I guess that's what that is, but, like, I've never seen that really in an anime before, so it was an interesting thing for sure. Don't like seeing obliques and stuff. That's not necessarily a problem. It's just, I feel like it's incredibly unrealistic for every anime male ever to look like that. And I know that, like, maintaining that sort of body physique is just not, a lot of the time it can cause people to be a lot more, like, confrontational and, like, what's the word? Like, you get really irritable. And it's just, yeah, unfun to try to, like, maintain. So, I don't know, it doesn't sound like it would be a fun time. Does that make sense? It doesn't seem like you'd be, like, there wouldn't be, like, couch time, you know? Yeah. For me, I realized, I think that, like, that's, I mean, for people who are into, like, you want to go work out together or go to the gym or something, that sounds fun for you. That's definitely what I'm not into. I mean, obviously, do your thing, do your physical, whatever, but if it's your entire life, god damn it, babies. I think having some tummy is cute. That's what I've decided. Things that I've learned in the last month. Of course, I don't actually know what this character looks like in the series, so I guess I'll have to watch it and figure that out. But we'll see, Yeah, in shape is great. Still, like, in shape and strong, but still having, like, a comfy looking body, I think is, like, yeah. Thumbs up. Yes. Can pick me up, but also be comfy. That's what I've decided. I think I finally decided on a non-red flag type. Only took me 12 million years. Yeah, I think it's just like I've never actually seen any character like depicted like that before, so it was never really something that was like in my brain. Babies, what are you doing? You can hear them just skittering around. Terrible. You like how you call it comfy? To me, that's what it looks like. It looks like you're like, take care of yourself, but like also you're okay just like chilling and like existing, and like I feel like that would be like more comfy to cuddle if you were to cuddle, you know? Also, there can only be one bony bitch, and that is me. I have thighs, but if it comes to like elbows or even shoulders or anything, I'm bony. So, something I like that isn't red flags. Painful striking power. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I feel like more bony than the average person. Not even that, like, I'm necessarily smaller than the average person, but, like, I just have weird, like, for example, on my shoulders, the way that my collarbones end, there's, like, a little bump on top of them. And when I was little, my mom used to say that that's where my angel wings used to come out of, until I was bad and they fell off, and then I cried. But I've got this little boniness. Yeah, and that's kind of generally how I exist as a person. I am pointy. Speaking the truth. Oh no. Pretty traumatizing for a kid. Yeah, I think a lot of the things that my heart told me when I was a kid were decently, like, thinking back, probably not okay. Yeah, like that, and the fact that there were monsters under the bed, and, you know, if you were good, they would come out and eat you, but if you were bad, then you're gonna get eaten. Which is obviously not nice to think about as you're trying to go to bed. Yeah. So I tried very, very hard to be a good girl. I was not a very good girl. Yeah. Mom and Grandma would spook you? Yeah, that's a mood. They do try their best sometimes. Oh no. The monsters didn't eat you? Yeah, I was very convinced that was because we, like, would pray every night, and that's what kept the monsters away. So, still haven't been eaten. No longer pray. But I do definitely sort of cite that in my brain is part of the reason that I am very scared of many things. That I am more easily startled than most people. You're a logical child? I like to think I was, but obviously that still to some extent worked on me. I am very much afraid of just about everything. So it was easy to keep me in line by telling scary stories. Okay, well, I guess this is supposed to be a wiki read. So I should go in the corner and we should do a wiki read. Wait, where's my... There we go. My throat. The guillotine. Or is it guillotine? I don't know. One of the two. This one was not requested. This is just a me thing. Because earlier in the week, I told someone that the last time a person was killed with a guillotine was in the 1970s. So it was only like 50 years ago. And they were like, no way! And I was like, yeah. And I was right. It was like 1977, I want to say. So I felt like maybe there were other fun guillotine facts. Yeah. lot of people think of a guillotine as like an ancient thing, you know, like it happened a long, long time ago. But it really wasn't all that long ago. Alright. A guillotine is an apparatus designed for efficiently carrying out executions by beheading. Efficiently as long as it was sharp. The device consists of a tall, upright frame and a weighted and angled blade suspended at the top. The condemned person is secured with a pillory at the bottom of the frame, holding the position of the neck directly below the blade. The blade is then released swiftly and forcefully, decapitating the victim with a single clean pass, and the head falls into a basket or other receptacle below. Yes. Yeah, that's how we're starting. Super comfy, right? The guillotine is best known for its use in France, particularly during the French Revolution, where the revolution's supporters celebrated it as the people's avenger, and the revolution's opponents vilified it as the preeminent symbol of the violence of the Reign of Terror. While the name guillotine dates from this period, similar devices have been in use elsewhere in Europe over several centuries. Use of an oblique blade and the pillory-like restraint device set this type of guillotine apart from others. Display of severed heads had long been one of the most common ways of European sovereigns exhibiting their power to their subjects. The design of the guillotine was intended to make capital punishments more reliable and less painful in accordance with new Enlightenment ideas of human rights. Prior to the use of the guillotine, France inflicted manual beheading and a variety of methods of execution, many of which were more gruesome and required a high level of precision and skill to carry out successfully. Beheading someone is actually really hard to do. Especially if you've got a dull blade. It can take many, many passes. Not good. After its adoption, the device remained France's standard method of judicial execution until the abolition of capital punishment in 1981. The last person to be executed by a government via a guillotine was Meeta on the 10th of September 1977 in France. I was right. It is 1977. Yes, go me. Okay. Realizing that trying to stay quiet, I don't know if I can do this with my throat. Well, we'll try to finish this one at least. The use of beheading machines in Europe long predates such use during the French Revolution in 1792. An early example of the principle is found in the Old French High History of the Holy Grail, dated to about 1210. Although the device is imaginary, its function is clear. The text says, "Within these 3 openings are the hollows set for them, and behold, what I would do to them if 3 heads were there within." She setteth her hand towards the openings, and draweth forth a pin that was fastened into the wall, and a cutting blade of steel droppeth down, of steel sharper than any razor, and closeth up to 3 openings. Even thus will I cut off their heads, when they shall set them into those 3 openings, thinking to adore the hollows that are beyond. That kind of sounds like a romance idea. To adore the hollows. Like, are you telling them that this is like some sort of glory hole and then beheading them? Like, why are they putting their heads in these holes, thinking about adoring things on the other side, and then you're just magically cutting their heads off. No, this one's not open air. Look, it's toward the wall. Yeah, fastened into the wall. And they're thinking to adore the saints that are beyond. You know, they don't know that their heads are getting cut off. Yeah. Hello, Aquarius, and anyone joining us. I was just saying, it seems like, you know, a surprise. Surprise guillotine. The Halifax gibbet in England was a wooden structure consisting of 2 wooden uprights capped by a horizontal beam of a total height of 4.5 meters. The blade was an axe head weighing about 3.5 kilograms, attached to the bottom of a massive wooden block that slid up and down in the grooves of the uprights. This device was mounted on a large square platform. It is not known when the Halifax gibbet was first used. The first recorded execution dates to 1280, but that execution may have been by sword, axe, or gibbet. The machine remained in use until Oliver Cromwell forbade capital punishment for petty theft. For petty theft? Capital punishment for petty... What? Why? Why? They're just having a good time. Don't kill people for petty theft. Thank you. Danger. Yeah, I'm also glad I didn't live back then. I mean, capital punishment for petty theft, me being me, probably about to be burned as a witch for saying something stupid. Yeah, all around just probably not a good time. A hand's weight woodcut illustration from 1531 edition of Petrarch's Theoremis. Utriusque Fortuna? Huh? Or remedies for both good and bad fortune. Shows a device similar to the Halifax gibbet in the background being used for an execution. That's nice. Why did you make me try to say all that? So I guess there's just many... Ooh, the original maiden. Ooh. So I guess your head would go there? Or up here? Up here. Oh. The maiden was constructed in 1564 for the profs and magistrates of Edinburgh, Scotland, and was used from April 1565 to 1710. One of those executed was James Douglas, 4th Earl of Morton, in 1581, and in 1644 publication began circulating the legend that Morton himself commissioned the maiden after he had seen the Halifax gibbet. Ooh, rib and pepperoni, I guess. People from back then would probably say you would feel the same if they robbed you. Who knows? For a period of time after its invention, the guillotine was called a Lucette. Nope, Louisette. However, it was later named after the French physician and Freemason. Oh. Oh. Okay, that's certainly something. Joseph Ignaz Guillotine, who proposed on the 10th of October 1789 to use of a special device to carry out executions in France in a more humane manner. A death penalty opponent, he was displeased with the breaking wheel and other common, more grisly execution methods, and sought to persuade Louis of France to implement a less painful alternative. While not the device's inventor, guillotine's name ultimately became eponym for it. Contrary to popular myth, rather, guillotine did not die by guillotine, but rather by natural causes. Good for him. Good for him. You thought you'd get a comfy tub? No, never. I don't know why you would think you would get a comfy topic from Wikipedia readings. It's generally not what goes on here. I mean, today's Wikipedia article, like the one that's on the front page, is torture. So I could have done that. But I didn't. Bah. Wow. That was just more how it became popular. I don't care. I don't care. Well, we'll go from here. The machine was judged successful because it was considered a humane form of execution in contrast with the more cruel methods used in pre-revolutionary ancien regime, I'm assuming. In France, before the invention of the guillotine, members of nobility were beheaded with a sword or an axe, which often took more blows, or two or more rather blows, to kill the condemned. The condemned or their families would sometimes pay the executioner to ensure that the blade was sharp in order to achieve a quick and relatively painless, the other one, the literal opposite, death. Imagine you hate your family so much that you pay for a painful death. Nah. Commoners were usually hanged or hung, which could take many minutes. Yeah. Hanging is not a nice way to go, unless you die by the neck snap. So if you're dropped into a hang, you are more likely to die a quick death. But if you stepped off of something, or they took away a box or something that you were on, long death. Not good. In the early phase of the French Revolution, prior to the guillotine's adoption, the slogan "à la lanterne," in English to the lamppost, symbolized popular justice in revolutionary France. The revolutionary radicals hung officials and aristocrats from street lanterns, and also employed more gruesome methods of execution, such as the wheel or burning at the stake. What the fuck is the wheel? Oh, St. Catherine's wheel. Okay. Understandable. You know what? Let's do that one too. Having only one method of civil execution for all regardless of class was also seen as an expression of equality among citizens. The guillotine was then the only civil legal execution method in France until abolition of the death penalty in 1981. apart from certain crimes against the state or security of the state, or for the death sentences passed in military courts, which entailed execution by firing squad. What do you mean skeletons and dark souls ride the wheels like motorcycles? That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right. Let's see. Reign of Terror. Oh. I don't want to read this name. Louis Collinat de Cremont. Except it's French, so pretend I didn't say that T. Was a royalist famed for having been the... Oh, wait. Sorry, my voice decided it just didn't want to exist for a hot second. He was famed for having been the first guillotined for his political ideas on the 21st of August, 1792, during the Reign of Terror between June 1793 and July 1794. About 17,000 people were guillotined, including former King Louis the 16th and Queen Marie Antoinette, who were executed at the guillotine in 1793. Why do I keep going back and forth between those? Anyway, toward the end of the terror in 1794, revolutionary leaders such as, names, Georges Danton, Saint-Just, and Maximilien Robespierre were sent to the guillotine. I mean, I know Robespierre. Just ignore me trying to do a shitty French accent. Most of the time, executions in Paris were carried out in the Place de la Révolution. The guillotine stood in the corner near the Hotel Crillon, which is definitely not said like that, where the city of Brest statue can be found today. The machine was moved several times to the Place de la Nation and the Place de la Bastille, but returned. Why? One of these days, I'm going to specifically not read things that are in places that don't speak English. Because I, for the life of me, cannot read any name. Or at least to any good extent. Yeah. Sacre bleu. Indeed. I mean, I don't think they really cleaned it that often. It's not as if the person was going to be alive, so it didn't super need to be sanitary for any means. Although they would have had to clean it at the end, or like the end of certain sessions, because otherwise it would rust and get dull. And the whole point was that it was more humane. Yeah. For a time, execution by guillotine were a popular form of entertainment that attracted great crowds of spectators, with vendors selling programs listing the names of the condemned. But, more than being popular entertainment alone during the terror, the guillotine symbolized revolutionary ideals: equality in death, equivalent to equality before the law, open and demonstrable revolutionary justice, and the destruction of the privilege under the ancient regime, which used to separate forms of execution for nobility and commoners. The Parisian sans-culottes, then the popular public face of the lower class patriotic radicalism, thus considered the guillotine a positive force for revolutionary progress. Yeah, blood definitely rusts blades quickly. Yep, it's why you also have to make sure to clean swords and stuff. Yeah. Ooh, retirement. Ah. Oh, that's funny. Okay. In the late 1840s, the Tussaud brothers Joseph and Francis gathered relics from Madame Tussaud's wax museum, visited the aged Henri Clément Sanson, grandson of the executioner. The name is Charles Henri Sanson, from whom they obtained parts, the knife and the lunette, of one of the original guillotines used in the Reign of Terror. The executioner had pawned his guillotine and got into woeful trouble for alleged trafficking of municipal property. Poor guy was probably guillotined. Alright, this is just general what happened at the end. Oh, interesting. Nazi Germany used the guillotine between 1933 and 1945 to execute 16,500 prisoners. Why can I not read numbers? 10,000 of them in 1944 and 1945 alone. Notable political victims executed by guillotine under the Nazi government included Marinus van der Lubbe, a Dutch communist blamed for the Reichstag fire and executed by guillotine in January of 1934. The Nazi government also guillotined Sophie Scholl, who was convicted of high treason after distributing anti-Nazi pamphlets at the University of Munich with her brother Hans. Why brothers? There's one. And other members of the German student resistance group, the Right Wings. That's interesting, and probably, honestly, one of the best ways to die in Nazi Germany. I feel like that was probably the best outcome for those people, especially, when it's people who, led a revolt and caused the Reichstag fire, and then, people who were very staunchly anti-Nazi in the Nazi regime. That's I feel like weirdly enough, the guillotine was meant to be a more humane way to conduct executions. So, firing squad was popular? Yeah. The trial was, for sure the trial was suspicious. But, again, blamed for? Not that he started it. He was blamed for it. But even then, if you're blamed for something like that, you would think that they would give you a much more gruesome end, Many a teenager or young college student were guillotined? Yeah. Oh, and then a lot of other places as well. The Netherlands. Switzerland. Oh, in 1940 as well. I wouldn't have thought. Interesting. I do love, though, that the place that's most known for the use of the guillotine was France. And it's also where it was last used. Right? Because it became popularized during the French Revolution. And then, the last person killed with the guillotine was in France, 1977. Which, not all that long ago, honestly. Oh, Ever since the guillotine's first use, there's been debate as to whether or not the guillotine provides as swift and painless a death as guillotine had hoped. With previous methods of execution that were intended to be painful, few expressed concern about the level of suffering that they inflicted. However, because the guillotine was invented specifically to be more humane, the issue of whether or not the condemned experienced pain had been thoroughly examined and remains a controversial topic. Certain eyewitnesses' accounts of guillotine executions suggest, anecdotally, that awareness may persist momentarily after decapitation, although there is no scientific consensus. Of fucking course not. It's not like you can decapitate someone for science and just be like, hey, we're gonna cut your head off, and then we need you to tell us if you're still conscious, okay? Cool. Like, what? You can, you probably just can't get away with it. I feel like if you tried to get away with that, you would join the science experiment, you know? But like, as capital punishment. But I guess, you know, at least you're helping further your own science project, question mark. Living hands. The question of consciousness or awareness following decapitation remained a topic of discussion during the guillotine's use. The following report was written by Dr. Dr. Bo-Ryu? Maybe, that's fine. Who observed the head of the executed prisoner. You can read. It's right. You can see the name. It's right there. On the 20th of June, 1905. Here, then, is what I was able to note immediately after the decapitation. The eyelids and lips of the guillotined man working in irregular rhythmic contractions for about 5 or 6 seconds. This phenomenon has been remarked by all those finding themselves in the same conditions as myself for observing what happens after severing the neck. I waited several seconds. The spasmodic movements ceased. It was then I called in a strong, sharp voice. Langa. I saw the eyelids slowly lift up, without any spasmodic contractions. I insist, advisedly, on this particularity, but with an even movement, quite distinct and normal, such as happens in everyday life, with people awakened or torn from their thoughts. Next, his eyes very definitely fixed themselves on mine, and the pupils focused themselves. I was not then dealing with a sort of vague, dull look without any expression that can be observed any day in dying people to whom one speaks. I was dealing with undeniably living eyes which were looking at me. After several seconds, the eyelids closed again. It was at this point that I called out again, and once more, without any spasms, slowly the eyelids lifted, and undeniably living eyes fixed themselves on mine, with perhaps even more penetration than the first time. Then there was a further closing of the eyelids, but now less complete. I attempted the effect of a third call. There was no further movement, and the eyes took on the glazed look they did which they have in the dead. Yeah. You know, I don't know if I necessarily trust that. Like the fact that the second time the person was like more aware, apparently. I feel like that might not be a thing. You know, you would think that awareness would fade. And, you know, over time, after being decapitated. So... the French guillotine has gone by many names. Ooh, the regretful climb. Ooh, that's kind of fun. The national razor, the fan light, the widow, the silent smell. Louisette or Louison. Madame la guillotine. Mirabelle. The machine, the paper trimmer, Cabot's necktie, Cabot being Louis the 16th. The patriotic shortener. Wait, is that because you're making them a head shorter? Wait, that's so funny though. The half moon, timbers of justice, Charlotte's rocking chair. All very fun. The Goncourt Prize for murderers. I think my favorites are the silent smell and the patriotic shortener. You're now a head taller than that person. Congratulations. It would be like a bonk. No more head for you. Ooh. But I feel like maybe not the best way to be taller than someone else. You mocked me for my height as a child. Now who's laughing? Yeah. No more head for you. Wait, can I read? Lobotomy. That's what happens when there's metal. Lobotomy, my favorite ASMR scenario, yeah. Sorry, that might have been a little bit loud. Apologies. I didn't realize that was the noise I was going for, but apparently covering the ears made that vaguely louder than I wanted it to be. It wasn't bad. Apparently I'm slowly killing Jello Noel with loudness, but I'm glad the rest of you are okay. Here, wait. We'll have fun noises again instead. Have Have a good night, Waverly. You know what? Maybe I will get the other one out too. Give me a sec. Haha. Underwater only. I really like these. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I just like sit there and I'll just do this over and over. Because it's fun. Maybe we shouldn't do more torture devices for the next one. The sound of water. Yes! Office water dispensers. I really do wish I could find a larger, like, similar one of these. But they generally don't really come in huge sizes, given what they're actually for. But I really like bubble noises, so maybe someday I'll find something else that makes them as well. Let's see. Something a little more happy. List of unusual deaths. Yay. This is a list of unusual deaths, which includes unique or extremely rare circumstances of death recorded throughout history, noted as being unusual by multiple sources. Alright, from antiquity. Menace? According to Menetha, the Egyptian pharaoh and unifier of Upper and Lower Egypt, was carried off and then killed by a hippopotamus. By a hippo. Okay. Draco of Athens, the Athenian lawmaker, was reportedly smothered to death by gifts of cloaks and hats showered upon him by appreciative citizens in a theater. Oh! Imagine it. Just imagine being one of his fans. Like, you're trying to give him a present, and then you actually... that would suck. That would be like... I don't know. Murdering your Oshi as... if donations, like, created cash from the sky and they just got, like, buried and then murdered by a pile of cash. Yeah, smothered to death by cloaks and hats. I guess people were just throwing things at him and they landed and then he couldn't get out. Crazy. Insane. According to Diodorus Siculus, the Greek lawgiver from Sicily, issued a law that anyone who brought weapons into the assembly must be put to death. One day he arrived at the assembly seeking help to defeat some brigands in the countryside, but with a knife still attached to his belt. In order to uphold his own law, he committed suicide. Why? That man is too committed to his own job. Okay. The Greek Pancratius caused his own death during the Olympic finals, held by his unidentified opponent in a stranglehold and unable to free himself. Archichian kicked his opponent, causing him so much pain from a foot/ankle injury that the opponent made the sign of defeat to the umpires, but at the same time broke his neck. Since the opponent had conceded defeat, Archichian was proclaimed the victor posthumously. Jesus Christ. That sucks. Ooh. Gold medal, but like only in death. Eesh. Milo, the Olympic champion wrestler's hands reportedly became trapped when he tried to split a tree apart. Why? He was then devoured by wolves, or, in a later version, lions. Do not try to split a tree with your hands, I suppose. Oh my god. Zeus died of laughter while painting an elderly woman. I'm sorry. What did she do? This poor old woman. What did she do? Ancient sources disagree on how the Greek philosopher Pythagoras died, but one late and probably apocryphal legend, reported by both Diogenes, a 3rd century AD biographer of famous philosophers, and Lamachus, a Neoplatonist philosopher, states that Pythagoras was murdered by his political enemies. Supposedly, he almost managed to outrun them, but he came to a bean field and refused to run through it, as he had prohibited beans as ritually unclean. Since cutting through the field would violate his own teachings, Pythagoras simply stopped running and was killed. I would say I don't think anyone would like stick to their own teachings and die, but then we did just read about the person who killed himself to uphold his own law. So, it is what it is, I guess. A poet known for his works in celebration of wine choked to death on a gravestone. A gravestone. A seed? Is a gravestone a seed? According to one account given by the James Laertius, the Greek philosopher was said to have been devoured by dogs after smearing himself with cow manure in an attempt to cure his dropsy. Why? Why? What? Huh? I guess. Okay, you know what? Let's leave antiquity. Let's go to... we'll do a couple in the Renaissance. And scroll. And we'll go with this one. The Burgomaster. What the fuck is that? The mayor. The mayor of Brno, then Bavaria, now Austria, died when he broke his neck by tripping over his own beard. The beard, which was 4.5 feet long at the time, was usually kept rolled up in a leather pouch. What the fuck? Why? Okay. There's a time when beards are too long, and you can visit the beard. What do you mean you can visit the beard? Jesus. The influential Italian author and libertine is said to have died of suffocation from laughing too much at an obscene joke during a meal in Venice. Another version states that he fell from his chair from too much laughter and fractured his skull. I mean, honestly, probably a good way to die. You know, you're having a good time, laughing at a joke, just chilling. Hi, baby. What you doing? Ah, being a menace. I see. Understood. I need to cut their nails. James Betts died from asphyxiation after being sealed in a cupboard by Elizabeth Spencer. Oh, in an attempt to hide him from her father. Oh. She was trying to make sure he didn't die, because they were definitely fucking when they weren't supposed to be. He still died. Yeah, hopefully they did something beforehand, before he died in a closet. That sounds terrible. Mew, hello. Also, Phantom, have a good night. Mew, hello, welcome on in, Mew and Raiders. We are doing some silly little Wikipedia reads and some, very chill attempts at shitty ASMR, because this is just me talking quietly and reading things for the most part. But welcome on in. Currently, we're reading a list of unusual deaths. I hope you had a really good stream, and I hope that if she is going to sleep, she gets some good rest.
Thanks for your wallet.
Jeb, thank you so much for the suba. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Technically, I guess it's edutainment. Technically, I guess. Oh, Mia's actually here. Okay, or Mio. I can't read today, by the way. I'm having some trouble. Oh, hi, bunnies. Oh, Mio. Mio, it's a secret, okay? I love you, Mio. Wah, 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 wah. I'm also still vaguely sick, sadly. Oh. I think
No escape now.
my bunny is trying to eat my chair.
Welcome, welcome.
Baby, why? Baby, why?
Welcome on in.
That is what it is.
Thanks for joining.
Jello Noel, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you.
Thanks for joining.
And if you did get hit by one of those, please do make sure to thank our lovely Jello Noel and welcome on in. If you hear any skittering, that would be my bunnies. They are menaces, and they are menacing, as one does. Ooh, Mew didn't get any fun water noises. I don't know if you like water noises, but I do. Oop. Sorry. Unlocked a gate. I also love this sound so much. It's so fun. Alright, I'll stop that. Yay. I think that those are my current new favorite thing to use. But the mask wasn't bad either. Oop. Although it's over on the side. This was fun too, though. It's just so squishy. knives he missed in 20 seconds or less. Except that was well longer than 20 seconds. Alright, back to how random people have died. Thomas Otway. The English dramatist fell on hard times and was suffering from poverty in his later years and was driven to... Oh, that's less fun. Driven to starvation. A gentleman who recognized him gave him a guinea. Quinoa? Money. He got money. With which he hastened to a baker's shop, purchased a roll, and choked to death on his bruises. This poor fucker. That one wasn't funny. That one was just sad. Oh. Well, it is what it is, I guess. John Cummings. After seeing a circus knife swaller, seaman John Cummings began actually swallowing knives. I am a mature Tanuki. Okay. On one occasion, he swallowed 4 knives and quickly passed 3 with no ill health. He swallowed 4 and he passed 3. Bitch, there's still a knife. He later swallowed 14 knives, and after some days with abdominal pain, he passed all of them. Oh my god, this man. He finally swallowed 20 knives and a clasp knife case, but after a few days, he had only passed the case. He died after 4 years in pain. Yeah. On autopsy, a knife blade and spring were found in his intestines, and between 30 and 40 fragments of metal, wood, and horn in his stomach. You are correct, Blackbeard. Seaman John Cummings died from swallowing. It is very dangerous. Do not do it. Why would you not be incredibly worried the first time you only shat out 3 knives when you swallowed 4? Because I would be very worried about that. Like, incredibly worried about that. Oh my god. The fact that you could, like, cut anything. Oh god, the sepsis, the spilling. Oh my god. Just a terrible way to die, honestly. If you're trying to use others to get the one stuck out, probably a bad idea. William Snyder, the 13-year-old, died in San Francisco, California, reportedly after a circus clown swung him around by his heels. What? Okay. Clement Vallandigham. The American politician and lawyer who was defending a man accused of murder accidentally shot himself while demonstrating how the victim might have done so. His client was acquitted. That's crazy. He did well. I mean, he won his case, even if he died. The kid probably died from, like, I don't know, blood in the brain not being able to be oxygenated or something. Depends on how long he was being swung around. He could have also had a pre-existing medical condition that was just exacerbated by clown. The former British MP, Sir William Payne Galloway, 2nd Baronet, died after sustaining severe internal injuries when he fell on a turnip while hunting. Murder by turnip. Murder by turnip. At 8:30 p.m., A shower of meteorites fell like rain on a village in Iraq. One man died, and another was paralyzed. His death is considered the only credible case of death by meteorite. The 44-year-old, the first recorded case of a pedestrian killed in a collision with a motor car, was struck on the grounds of the Crystal Palace in London. Oh. The car belonged to the Anglo-French Motor Carriage Company while giving demonstration rides. That woman, rather, better have been his guide. That sucks. Oh my god. It wasn't even like someone who had just bought it and didn't know what to do. That's straight up like the people who made the cars were trying to sell them and giving demonstration rides. Could you imagine being in the car, getting the demonstration? This is the new car, better than a horse-drawn carriage. You run over a lady. Oh, man. That sounds unfun. Okay, 20th century. Let's see. A stand-in walker. The 20-year-old was watching an amateur baseball game in Morristown, Ohio, with a friend on either side of him. One of the friends borrowed a knife from the other to sharpen his pencil as he was keeping score, and when he finished, passed the knife to Walker to pass it to the other friend. As Walker was holding the knife, a foul ball struck him in the hand. Oh. His friends asked if he was hurt. He said not much, but the wound soon began to bleed, and he died. Christ. Oh. Yeah, those friends are definitely traumatized. But also, I can totally see someone being stabbed and being like, oh, it doesn't hurt that bad. It's fine. Oh my god. An unidentified person was beaten to death with a Bible during a healing ceremony gone wrong in Honolulu. He was being treated for malaria when his family summoned a kahuna, who decided he was possessed by devils and tried to exorcise the demons. The kahuna was charged with manslaughter. Ooh, fell down an elevator shaft. Don't want that one. John Morrison, the 19-year-old duck hunter from New Zealand, drowned in about 6 inches of water. Ooh. Yeah, never mind, that's not funny at all. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's see. Franz Reichelt. The tailor and inventor leapt from the Eiffel Tower and fell to his death wearing a parachute made from cloth, his own invention. He was asked by friends and authorities to use a dummy for the feat, but declined, saying, "I intend to prove the worth of my invention." He was known as the Flying Tailor. Also, where'd my music go? Bonk. Bum, ba, bum. Julian Carlton, the servant to American architect Frank Lloyd Wright, committed a mass murder spree on the 15th of August, 1914, at Wright's Tennessee studio, during which he killed 7 people with a hatchet and set the studio ablaze. Carlton then attempted suicide by drinking hydrochloric acid. However, this failed. After being lynched, Carlton was arrested and brought to a jail in Dodgesville, Wisconsin, where, having severely damaged his esophagus, he starved to death 47 days later. Yes, of course, Rasputin. The Russian mystic died of 3 gunshot wounds, one of which was a close-range shot to his forehead. Little is certain about his death beyond this, and the circumstances of his death have been subject to considerable speculation. According to his murderer himself, Prince Felix Yusupov, Grigory Rasputin consumed teas, cakes, and wine which had been laced with cyanide, but he did not appear to be affected by it. He was then shot once in the chest and believed to be dead, but after a while he leapt up and attacked Yusupov, who freed himself and fled. Rasputin followed and made it into the courtyard before being shot again and collapsing into a snowbank. The conspirators then wrapped his body and dropped it into the river. 21 people were killed and 150 injured after a large tank of molasses burst in Boston's North End. Why the Great Molasses Flood? What the fuck is that? And why the fuck was there that much molasses? My brain is loading. I'm gonna keep that for next time. I'm for sure keeping that for next time. Oh, Alexander of Greece. The 27-year-old Greek king died of sepsis after being bitten by a palace steward's pet, Papri Macaw, in his garden while trying to break up a fight between his German shepherd and another monkey. That sounds about right. Thomas Lynn Bradford, in an attempt to ascertain the existence of an afterlife, the spiritualist committed suicide, by sealing his Detroit apartment, blowing out the pilot of his heater, and turning on the gas, dying of carbon monoxide poisoning. Bradford had intended to communicate his findings to fellow spiritualist Ruth Starkweather-Doran, but some weeks after his death, the New York Times ran the article, "Dead Spiritualist Silent." That sucks. Man Amoriated himself, trying to prove what he believed in. And the New York Times was like, haha, loser. Frank Hayes, the 22-year-old jockey from Elmont, New York, died of a heart attack mid-race and collapsed on the horse, which, nonetheless, crossed the finish line first, still carrying his body. Have a good night, Chris. Have a good night. Let's see. Sepsis isn't funny. I'm not specifically looking for ones that are funny, but ones that are at least a little bit interesting. I mean, it is supposed to be unusual deaths, and some of them are just like, dude died of sepsis. That's so common. So many people die of sepsis.
Yoink.
There. Well, not really funny, but interesting. Master, thank you for the 2. I appreciate it. Thank you. In 1940, the 51-year-old contracted polio, which left him severely disabled. He devised an elaborate system of ropes and pulleys to lift himself out of bed. In 1944, he became entangled in the device and died of strangulation. Mary Racer, found by the police in St. Petersburg, Florida, almost totally cremated where she sat, while her apartment was relatively damage-free. Some speculate that she spontaneously combusted. A lot of the time, if you die of sepsis, it's like because you didn't search out medical help nowadays, so it can sometimes be a complication, but that's not generally a murdery complication when it comes to nowadays. During the testing of an experimental nuclear reactor design in Arco, Idaho, 2 soldiers and a sailor were killed, but their deaths were not due to radiation poisoning. While trying to bring the reactor online, Barnes, an army specialist, was supposed to pull a control rod partway by hand, but he pulled the rod further than intended. The reactor instantly went critical, which flash-boiled the water around the reactor. The force of the steam expanding lifted the entire reactor into the air about, 2.7 meters. Yeah, which was described as a water hammer-like effect. Many components were thrown out the top, one of which impaled leg, a Navy electrician's mate, lifted him from a catwalk and penetrated the ceiling, leaving him dangling. While the reactor was airborne, the radioactive steam escaped, spraying the room. The steam was so hot that Barnes instantly died of severe burns. McKinney suffered a hand wound, which he later died from that day. The steam left the bodies of all 3 men radioactive, so they were buried in lead coffins. Officials feared that moving them would risk spreading contamination along public roadways, so a graveyard was established in the desert, only 0.5 kilometers from the explosion. The graveyard is still monitored by the Environmental Protection Agency. The 3 remain the only human beings killed by a reactor explosion in the United States. Crazy. That is definitely something. Let's see. In the 70s, the Soviet cosmonauts died when their Soyuz 11 spacecraft depressurized during the preparations for re-entry. They are the only reported human deaths outside of the Earth's atmosphere. Peter Kelly, the British commercial diver, died of anoxia due to pure helium being fed through his breathing mask during a dive bell in the Norwegian sector of the North Sea. The other diver in the bell pulled off his mask before losing consciousness and survived. Anoxia is a lack of oxygen. Proper teaching moment. Okay, so kind of like I told you guys that the suffix itis on anything just means inflammation. So like rhinitis is inflammation of the nose, or like pancreatitis is inflammation of the pancreas. Having an A or an AN, depending, at the very front, usually it's just an A though, is similar. It's a prefix that essentially just means a lack of. So, anoxia is a lack of oxygen. Man just suffocated. No oxygen. Well, asphyxiation is its own thing. But it can be caused by anoxia, or generally will be caused by anoxia, because that's, a lack of oxygen. There is also a medical term for lack of brain. I don't remember it at this exact moment, but wait. Yes, encephaly. Anencephaly, yes. When Yeah. Encephalitis is itis of the brain. Yeah, it is a thing. Yeah. Not a good thing. And not something you can generally, at all, ever, last more than a couple of seconds with. Yeah. It is a congenital birth defect that means that the kid doesn't make it. Which, makes sense if they have no brain. That's kind of necessary to stay alive as a person. Even if just to get the functions like the heart and the lungs working. Yeah. Have a good night, Blackbeard. Have a good night. 28-year-old professional footballer for SS Lazio and the Italy national football team was shot while pretending to rob a jeweler as a practical joke. You don't do that. Leave the thievery to the professionals and don't just do it for funsies. Georgy Markov, the Bulgarian dissident writer, was poisoned on a London street via a micro-engineered pellet containing ricin? Fired into his leg from an umbrella wielded by an assassin associated with the Bulgarian Secret Service. Oh my god, umbrella gun. I thought that those were just a thing in, pop culture. Oh my god, this is the best day of my life. At the time, the secret police force was affiliated with the KGB. Markov died 4 days later in the hospital. No one was ever charged with the assassination. Oh my god! Umbrella gun! I'm so happy. I'm so heckin' happy. Umbrella gun. That's so fun. Suitcase guns are real too. Yeah, but that's not as cool as an umbrella gun. Alright, 1980s. The resident Casas do Sol, Brazil, was walking upstairs carrying a Pyrex glass when she tripped, broke it, and fell on the shards. Oh, that's not interesting. That's not unusual. She cut an artery in her neck. That happens more frequently than everyone would like to think. Why? Why is that here? Is that the first time that happened? Okay. The 9-week-old from Australia was dragged off and killed by a wild dingo during a family camping trip to Uluru in the Northern Territory. This was the first recorded instance of a dingo killing a human. Azaria's parents, Lindy and Michael Chamberlain, received intense media speculation due to the perceived implausibility of a dingo attack. In the highly publicized trial, Lindy was convicted of murder and Michael named as an accessory. Their convictions were later overturned after Azaria's matinee jacket was discovered in an area with many dingo lairs nearby. Boris Sagal, the Ukrainian-American film director, died while shooting the TV miniseries World War III in Portland, Oregon, after he walked into the tail, not onto. That, I was like, you can't do that. How small was this man? Okay, walked into the tail rotor blades of a helicopter and was partially decapitated. He died 5 hours later at the hospital in Portland. Yeah, understandable. This is another case of death by getting cut on your neck, but died after smashing his golf club against a golf cart. The head broke off and impaled him in the throat. Yeah, don't hit things against other things. after death. During the filming of Twilight Zone the movie, the 53-year-old Morrow, 7-year-old Lee, oh, this much must be what you were talking about, and 6-year-old Chen were performing a scene in which their characters are pursued by a helicopter. Heat from a special effects explosion caused the helicopter to fall on them. Morrow and Lee were decapitated, and Chen was crushed. Yeah, that sucks. Oh my god. Dick, the tennis lineman, died after a ball served by the player Stefan Edberg at the US Open struck him in the groin, and he fell out of his chair, striking his head on the hard court surface. That's terrible, but also kind of funny because his name is Dick, and he essentially died because of a ball to the dick, which again is terrible, but ironic. And I do enjoy a little bit of irony. Oh, Jimmy Ferozzo, the bouncer at the Condor Club in San Francisco, died while engaging in sexual intercourse with his girlfriend, Teresa Hill, on a grand piano that was lowered from the ceiling by a hydraulic motor. He accidentally activated the lifting mechanism, which pinned him against the ceiling, leading to his suffocation. Hill survived the accident. John Eric Hexum, the 26-year-old American actor, died after playing a simulated Russian roulette with a .44 Magnum pistol loaded with blanks. Bad idea. They contained paper wadding, and when he pulled the trigger against his temple, the wadding was propelled with a force that broke his skull, causing massive brain bleeds. Yeah, no, especially if it's directly pressed against your temple, you don't need much force to actually break a lot of bones in that area. Don't do that. Yeah, blanks still have a lot of energy. Yep. They may be safer, especially when you're at a distance, but that's still an incredible amount of force put into a small space. It doesn't really matter how soft the thing is. It is going to cause some sort of injury. Yeah. An unidentified 25-year-old man was using submersion as an erotic asphyxiation method. With a homemade plastic bodysuit, he tied himself to a boat and was using a homemade diving apparatus for air supply. He died from rebreathing, caused by the faulty apparatus. So, I guess don't try, to erotically asphyxiate yourself if you don't know what you're doing and don't have someone nearby to, like, make you not die. So if you have this particular kink, make sure you also have a friend who has a kink of, like, voyeurism so that they can help you. Yeah, but then if you don't need help, at least you both get off, so it's fine, probably, theoretically. Frank O'Brien, the 22-year-old inmate at the Metro Toronto East Detention Centre in Canada, died trying to swallow a pocket-sized Bible. A 35-year-old veteran skydiver was filming a jump by an instructor and student at the Franklin County Sports Parachute Center when he jumped from a plane without a parachute. Holy fuck. Focused on the filming process, he apparently forgot to put one on, and his camera equipment may have been mistaken for one. The tape was recovered. Have a good night, Wumpy. Here, wait, we'll blow all of this shit. out of your brain so you can have a nice rest. Be free. Have a good night. Have a good night. Oh no. The 28-year-old American criminal convicted of murder was initially given a death sentence by electrocution before being reduced to life imprisonment. Godwin died from electrocution when he bit into wires while attempting to fix a broken TV set. At the same time, sitting on the metal toilet seat in his prison cell in the Central Correctional Institute in South Carolina. Alright, 1990s. Daniel John O'Brien. The 31-year-old committed amoria by jumping into one of the engines of a British Airways Boeing 747 at the International Airport in Trinidad. He is said to have scaled an airport wall while in the nude, attacked 4 security guards, stolen the 4-wheel drive vehicle, driven the vehicle into the jet, then clambered out of the wreckage, smeared grease on his bleeding shoulder, and hurled himself into one of the plane's engines. Greg Austin Gingrich. While the 38-year-old was vacationing in the Grand Canyon with his teenage daughter, he began to play act, losing his balance to frighten her. Gingrich leapt atop a guard wall and began windmilling his arms in an exaggerated manner, then comically fell from the wall on the canyon side onto a short slope where he assumed he would land safely. His daughter, unimpressed with his antics, walked on. Gingrich, however, missed his footing and fell approximately 400 feet into the canyon to his death. Yeah, so, don't do that. Because that man's daughter is definitely traumatized for life. For what he thought was originally going to be a funny joke. Don't do that. Don't ever... don't risk your life for, like, maybe a laugh. Please. Please don't do that. I don't know why today I have been really, like, quick to tears. So, like, a couple of seconds I was, like, thinking about that. My eyes were a little leaky. Don't do that, please. Yeah, no, I don't know what's up with me today. Cried on the bus reading a manhwa, cried later on reading something. I've cried like 5 times today. And I don't know why. None of them are for actual reasons. I think the eyeballs have just decided to do as they do. The 38-year-old lawyer from Toronto fell from the 24th floor of the Toronto Dominion Centre while demonstrating that its windows were unbreakable. He threw himself against one, which, true to his assertion, did not break, but instead popped out of its frame. This is my nightmare. I literally will not go near or touch windows that are not 90 degrees. There are so many places where windows have like an outward angle and you can like look down. Nope, nope, nope. Fucking glass bridges. If they have metal sidings, maybe. Because in theory, I could catch myself as long as I'm holding the handrail. No. Literally this, the window popping out of its frame, this is like one of those things that I'm super paranoid about for like really no reason. It happens, but like it's not like super, you know? I don't like it. Vigrid, thank you for the supa, and you're not incorrect. Apparently, just a lot of things that I'm afraid of have to do with windows. I think maybe windows might just be evil. That's just sad. Another golf death. The 16-year-old from New York was playing golf when he hit a bench out of frustration with his club. This caused the club shaft to break, bounce back, and pierce his heart, killing him. Please do not hit things against things. Oh, sorry, I knocked over my allergy meds. Yeah, apparently that happens a decent amount. Ooh, this is sad. Karen, the chemistry oh, come on, that's not even a hard word to say. The chemistry professor at Dartmouth College died 10 months after a few drops of dimethylmercury in organomercury compound, and one of the strongest neurotoxins landed on her protective gloves. Although she had been following the required procedures, it permeated the gloves and her skin within seconds. Yeah. I guess they didn't know that it could get in through those gloves. That sucks ass for her, because, yeah. Neurotoxins are not to be fucked with, and, you know, I mean, she died 10 months later, so it probably was a decently slow death. Yeah, probably not a good time. Oh, Albert, the resident of Lisbon, died from falling out a 5-story window while performing a tango. According to witnesses, he was demonstrating to students how to keep their head high by looking at the ceiling and failed to notice the open window beside him. Hate that. Ooh, Jonathan, the 16-year-old, oh, that's so sad, from Oldham, London, England, died from a heart attack brought on by a buildup of butane and propane in his blood after excessive use of deodorant sprays. He was reported to have been obsessed with personal hygiene. Axe body spray. Although Axe was a thing, I think, quite a bit after this. Oh, John. A 64-year-old businessman from Minsworth, England, attempted to light a bonfire with gasoline, but inadvertently set his clothes on fire. He then ran to the river, jumped in, and eventually drowned. Although the incident occurred on the 12th of April 1999, his body was not found until the 30th. Owen Hart, professional wrestler, fell to his death during the Over the Edge pay-per-view event. Was it broadcasted? He was supposed to be lured into the ring from the rafters as part of his Blue Blazer persona's entrance, but the equipment luring him into the ring malfunctioned, causing him to fall 78 feet. Holy fuck. Oh, that must have been terrible for anyone watching too. Oh. Alright, 21st century. Famous Hungarian pop singer Jimmy Zambo died of self-inflicted gunshot wounds after shooting himself out of the window twice with his Beretta. What? Oh, shooting out of the window twice with his Beretta. He allegedly wanted to prove to his wife there were no more rounds in the pistol, so he removed the magazine to put the pistol to his head. Oh my god. One bullet was in the chamber, and he shot himself in his head. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, this is so sad. Yeah, a 7-year-old died by touching an African snail from which she contracted meningoencephalitis. Oof. Yeah. First reported case of human fatality linked to the African snail. Burned Brandes, voluntarily slaughtered and eaten by Armin Muse following an appointment via internet. At Brandes' request, Muse first amputated Brandes' penis, and they unsuccessfully tried to eat it. Muse taped the entire amputation, killing, conserving, and eating of Brandes' meat. Muse was eventually arrested and sentenced to life in prison. He became a vegetarian during his prison sentence. Yeah. That makes sense. My assumption is that Brandes, had a kink. I can't see any other purpose you would want someone to amputate and eat parts of you whilst you were there. An online form of cannibals? Yeah, but like auto-cannibalism or self-cannibalism is like very different from cannibalism, you know? I feel like not a lot of cannibals are auto-cannibalistic. They wouldn't last long if they were, you know? If you read the case, it's weird. Oh, I could imagine. Yeah. Also, you know, besides, like, it's not a good idea to eat people, don't eat people. Don't eat human meat. Especially not human brains. It can lead to essentially mad cow because of prions, and prions are terrifying, and I'm sure I've already talked about this because anytime cannibalism comes up, it's the first place my brain goes to. Do not eat people. You can get prions, and that is not a fun way to die. It's essentially just mad cow. Your brain turns into a sponge. It will get holes. It is not good. What? Oh, I read that wrong. Oh, no! Trapped underwater from a hot tub train and drowned? Oh, that's sad. The doctor from Houston, Texas, Hitoshi, was killed after his head was trapped in elevator doors at the hospital where he worked. He was partially decapitated as the elevator ascended, and he also sustained injuries to his ribs and spine. Have a good night, Dylan. Here, wait, let me... Pop. No more nightmares. us out of there. Honestly, I'm surprised that he didn't end up breaking his spine. Yeah. Oh my god. Kenneth Pinion died from injuries caused by anal sex with a stallion. Yeah, I know about this one too. The two sisters, aged 62 and 68 respectively, died in Benidorm, Spain, after becoming trapped for 4 days when their fold-up Murphy bed collapsed. Merdo Hernandez, the 24-year-old Oakland, Californian resident, was struck in the back of the head by an airborne fire hydrant when a passing car struck it, and the water pressure shot it at him with great force. RIP. Oh. The Bulgarian teacher, Lydia Tsekova, and her husband, Georgie, and colleague, Nadezhda, poured chemical waste into a drain cover in Sofia. Why the fuck? The chemicals reacted with the gases in the sewer and caused an explosion. The drain cover decapitated Tsekova. Yeah. There is a reason that there are very specific ways to get rid of chemical wastes. Like, there are reasons. I would say don't do this, but like, I don't think that any informant would do this, so it's probably fine. Judy K. Zagorski, the 57-year-old from Pigeon, Michigan, died of blunt force craniocerebral trauma when a 75-pound spotted eagle ray leapt out of the water and knocked her off the coast of the Marathon Key in Florida. The ray also died. Poor thing was just trying to have a good time. The Brazilian Catholic priest and skydiver undertook a cluster balloon flight. The intention was to break the previous endurance record for ballooning and to raise funds for charity. However, contact was lost partway through. The lower part of his body was found floating in the sea 11 weeks later. That sucks. David File, the 50-year-old last resident in a block of flats due to be demolished in Bishopstroke near Southampton, England, decapitated himself with a chainsaw to highlight the injustice of being forced to move out. Okay. I guess that's protest, but like, no one's gonna gain anything from it. Unknown female. I bet you they're known, and their family just like make sure that their name doesn't come up. A 43-year-old Irish woman died of anaphylactic allergic reaction after having sex with a German Shepherd. Its owner, Sean McDonald, and the woman met in an internet chat room for bestiality. McDonald was prosecuted and added to a sex offender list. The dog was later euthanized. Oh. A 14-year-old boy from Jiazhou, Shandong in China was killed when the pneumatic cylinder in his office chair exploded. me side-eyeing my computer chair. I mean, I'm sure they fixed it since then. That was like 15 years ago. I think I might actually vaguely remember that happening as well. Because that does sound familiar, and I think I might have seen photos, but I don't know if it was this particular time. The world ended in 2009, we're all in purgatory. Yeah, honestly. Taylor Mitchell, the 19-year-old Canadian folk singer, was killed by a pair of coyotes while hiking Cape Breton, the only known fatal coyote attack on an adult. Yeah, that's odd. Coyotes usually don't bother people. They're usually quite afraid of them. Vladimir Lakonos, 25-year-old student of the Kiev Polytechnic Institute from Konotop, was killed when his chewing gum exploded. He had a habit of dipping his chewing gum in citric acid to increase the gum's sour taste. On his work table, police found about 100 grams of unidentified explosive powder, which he used for chemistry studies at home. It resembled citric acid, and it's thought that he could fuse the two. The explosive was found to be 4 times stronger than TNT, and the explosion was possibly triggered either by reacting with his saliva or the pressure exerted by him chewing on the gum. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm sorry, if you have a chewing gum and citric acid habit, why the fuck do you have explosive powder that looks the same in your... that... Jesus Christ. Alright, 2010s. Ubagi and Rena with the same brain cell. The 31-year-old Welsh mathematician and GCHQ analyst was found dead and naked in a bag that had been padlocked from the outside in the bath of his home in central London. The inquest found his death was likely criminal, although a Metropolitan Police investigation found later that it was likely an accident. How is that an accident? How was he accidentally padlocked into a bag? What? Alright. Mike Edwards, the 62-year-old cellist and founding member of the band Electric Light Orchestra, died when a large round bale of hay rolled down a hill and collided with the van he was driving. Jose Luis Ochoa, the 35-year-old, died after being stabbed in the leg at an illegal cockfight. Yeah, okay. By a bird with a knife-like spur strapped to its leg. Bitch got shanked by a bird. Alright. Alright. Brian Deplanche. The 38-year-old was home alone, placing wet laundry on a chlorosaurus, a type of drying rack, when he accidentally tripped over a small stool and fell backwards into the rack, trapping himself. Authorities state it appears he attempted to free himself, but the struggle only caused the rungs to tighten around his chest and neck even more. A coroner remarked his death was probably rarer than being struck by lightning or struck by a meteorite. Anthony Hensley. The 37-year-old was killed by a swan while kayaking across a pond in the residential complex in Plain, Illinois. After getting too close to the bird's nest, the swan attacked him, threw him out of the kayak and prevented him from surfacing. Man got offed by a swan. Yes, Phoenix. There was one man that we read about earlier who got killed by a meteorite landing on him. Elda Victor, the 88-year-old, died in a hospital in Rio de Janeiro, allegedly as a result of nursing technicians injecting soup through her intravenous drip instead of her feeding tube. Yeah. Okay. That's not good. Yeah, that's very bad. Humans are not meant to have soup blood. Also, she wasn't getting food, so, you know, that's fun. Oh, James Campbell. When the 68-year-old left his van to open a gate, his dog stepped on the van's gas pedal and ran him over. Takuya, the 23-year-old from Japan, started to slither on the floor and claimed he had become a snake. He died after his father spent the next 2 days headbutting and biting him to drive out the snake that had possessed him. I remember this one. Elisa Lamb. She was missing for several weeks before being found dead in a large water tank on the roof of the Cecil Hotel. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, that's certainly something. Isn't it also considered decently haunted? Yeah, the footage is not yeah, it's weird. It's that whole case is weird. Yep, no, they only found her body because people were complaining about the water. Yep, people were drinking her and bathing in her. Which, you know, not great for anyone involved. An unnamed 60-year-old Belarusian fisherman bled to death after being bitten by a beaver, which he tried to grab in order to have his picture taken with it. Yep. Sounds about right. Don't touch wild animals. Denver Lee St. Clair. The 58-year-old was asphyxiated by an atomic wedgie administered by his stepson during a fight. Oh. By his stepson. After he had been knocked unconscious, the elastic band from his torn underwear was pulled over his head and stretched around his neck, strangling him. The stepson was sentenced to 30 years in prison. Oh, I wonder if it was during, like, an actual fight. Like the stepson purposefully did it. Because if he got sentenced to 30 years, that probably wasn't an accident. Jesus Christ. JRN. A 52-year-old Brazilian man, identified only as JRN, attempted to commit bestiality with a sow. Yeah, but was attacked by the animals and wounded in the genitals. He died from a cardiac arrest. His arms and face were also mutilated by the animals. Initially, police believed that the man had been murdered and disposed of at the farm, but this was disproven as the numerous pieces of evidence showed that the man had drunk alcohol, used a condom, and had been wearing only underwear. The man had worked on the farm for 2 years. He should have lived just a little longer. Dying of a heart attack is a pretty fast way to go. Oh. Oh dear. Once again, piercing of the neck. Not a great, livable anything. Eva, the 13-year-old from Turkey, was killed when a sacrificial goat bought for Eid al-Adha jumped off the roof, over a protective fence, and fell onto him. His father has placed it on the roof of the building where he lived because he could not find another suitable place to keep it. That sucks. Okay, let's go forward a little bit. Randy Lyne, the 47-year-old fisherman from Hawaii, was killed by a swordfish. He had harpooned the fish and jumped into the water to retrieve it, but the swordfish impaled him in the chest. Yep. Jet engines are not fun. Chelsea, the 24-year-old beauty salon employee in Henderson, Nevada, was suffocated while using a cryotherapy machine set to the wrong level, which eliminated the oxygen in the chamber. Why the fuck is that a setting? What? Excuse you? Why is that an incorrect setting that you can even pick? What the fuck? Okay, well. Alright. Irma Buell, 29-year-old Indonesian singer who performed with live snakes, died during a concert after being bit by a king cobra and refusing treatment. Don't do that. I don't want to read that. There's a lot of children deaths. Suffocation takes a while? It does, yeah. Ooh, 10 people. Powerful southerly change in Melbourne, Australia, resulted in the death of 10 asthmatic people. Yeah, it was due to a stark 60-kilometer-per-hour wind that distributed ryegrass pollen into the moist air, rupturing them into very fine specks, small enough to enter people's lungs. That would do it. Oh my god. Akbar, the 25-year-old, was killed and swallowed by a reticulated python in West Sulawesi, Indonesia, in the first fully confirmed case of a snake swallowing an adult male or just adult human. Fun. A second case happened. The same place? The second case happened there the following year when another reticulated python killed and swallowed a woman in her garden. What the fuck? Alright. Crazy. Jasmine Beaver, a 16-year-old from Skegness, England, died of, peritonitis, brought about by Rapunzel syndrome. She had a long-time habit of chewing and swallowing her hair, which formed a hairball in her stomach, leading to an infection in her abdomen, damaging her vital organs. Here? The 42-year-old Turkish-Dutch drug dealer and informant died when he threw his fishhook into an electrical cable somewhere fishing in Eastern Europe, though he was a witness in a case against Dutch criminal Willem Hollander. He was not considered a crucial asset by authorities, who treated his death as an accident. Okay. Rajesh Maru, the 32-year-old, died at Nair Hospital in Mumbai after carrying a metal oxygen tank into a room housing an MRI scanner. The magnetic field pulled him in with the tank, which pinned his hand and released liquid oxygen. He died of pneumothorax. Ooh, that sucks. But also, why the fuck would you walk into a working MRI room with a metal tank? That's not a good idea. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, an MRI is essentially just one giant magnet, and generally speaking, at most hospitals, in the section where the MRI exists, there are a ridiculous amount of signs around that say that you cannot have any metal, to the point where if you need an MRI and you're not sure if you have metal in you, even if just a staple, you will get an x-ray. Or like, for example, if you are injured if you're doing some sort of metal working on a car or armor or anything like that, and you might have metal somewhere in or on your skin, you will get an x-ray to make sure you don't, because otherwise you could die. Walking in with a oxygen tank, Jelanoel says probably didn't know, but if you're walking in with an oxygen tank, generally speaking, that probably means that you work at the hospital. A lot of the time, it's because you're changing things that are in the walls, or if you are a patient, you would have been told beforehand, because like I said, usually they're very, very careful about these kind of things. Because, yeah, an MRI is a giant magnet, and even certain pacemakers, if you have one, you can't get an MRI. There are MRI-safe pacemakers, though. But, like, yeah, some tattoo inks cause problems? Yes. Yeah. They're very, very careful with MRIs, generally speaking. So if they ask you things, do not lie. If you're not sure if you have metal somewhere, do not lie. Say that you're not sure. Get an x-ray. It's an extra 5 minutes. But, like, way safer. Okay. If you have a metal screw in a finger, unless it is an MRI safe screw, you will not be allowed to get an MRI. Wolverine getting an MRI would just tear him apart. Yeah, no, that's not good. That is very, very not good. How does iron and calcium in our blood not get affected? I'm not 100% certain on that. I just randomly know a lot about MRIs. But I'm not a, like, specialist or anything, so it's not like I don't fucking know that. Thankfully, it doesn't, you know? It is what it is. But yeah, MRIs, you don't fuck around with metal in those at all. Hey, look at that informant snow. It's much smaller and aren't magnetic. Yeah, that makes sense. MRI hobbyist. Yeah, I mean, we all know I have a bunch of weird knowledge. It's fine. It is what it is. Is adamantium canonically ferromagnetic? I want to say that it is magnetic. Right? Didn't he get fucked around by Magneto multiple times? I'm pretty sure it would have been magnetic, which means that, yeah, no, he couldn't have gotten an MRI. Oh, yeah, okay, Magneto, yeah, I was right, Magneto could stop him. Yep. Cool. But yeah, no, MRIs are great in terms of being able to see shit, but yeah, don't fuck around with metal in them. If you think you might have something, don't do it. Don't do it. CTs will work for, like, soft tissue. They might not be as great for certain things, but, like, you don't fuck around with that kind of thing. Or, like, you can, but it probably won't end well. You have an MRI and EEG in 2 weeks? Oh! I hope it's not for anything too bad. Good luck. Metal fillings might be bad? Yes, if you have metal fillings, you cannot get an MRI. Unless, again, they are a non-magnetic filling. Yeah. You had an MRI once, it was unsettling? Yeah, it is a very small magnetic tube. A lot of people, especially people who are even mildly claustrophobic, cannot go into an MRI without, like, some sort of anxiety medication. Yeah, they're not comfy. And, like, you have to stay completely still. Very unfun. Very unfun. Yeah, but they are what they are, you know? They're working on making MRIs more comfy by having them play show tunes with the coils instead of weird thunks. That would be really funny, though. Oh yeah, they're really loud. If you've never had an MRI, they're really loud. Yeah. You just get like boom 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 all around you, but like louder. And it like circles. Not super fun, but you know, usually if you're getting one, it's good that you're getting one, because it can help figure a lot of stuff out. I don't think that would be actual ASMR. MRIs are so loud. Also, dying of a pneumothorax sucks. We've talked about those before, though, so I'm not going to go into it. Hildegard Whitning. The 77-year-old died of asphyxiation from the carbon dioxide vapors produced by 4 dry ice coolers in a Dippin' Dots delivery car. The delivery man's wife had boarded the car to take Whitting home. Oh. That would be traumatizing. You're just trying to drive someone home, and suddenly they die. You're trying to do a nice thing, and instead you accidentally murder someone. Ooh. Also, interesting. I don't know how that works, but jeez. Oh. Sam Ballard, 29-year-old from Sydney, Australia, died from angiostrongyliasis. Oh, very fun. Roundworm. After eating a garden slug as a dare 8 years earlier. Don't eat garden slugs. Don't do it. Yeah, bad idea. Thing you're most afraid of dying from as a lazy gamer is a blood clot? I mean, as long as you do some movement, right? For example, if you're sitting with your knees up, like I do, or crossed, like I do a lot of the time, every once in a while, put them out and stretch them forward all the way. And just give them some bends. Like you're swinging your legs on a swing. Yeah. I do that every once in a while, honestly, while I'm streaming. I actually, had my legs down in prep to start doing that. I don't do it super often. Probably not as much as I should. But I do try to every, 2 to 3 hours. You just got up and stretched to avoid dying? Yeah. Huh. Salvatore Daisy. A 62-year-old was decapitated while using a power cart to jumpstart a helicopter in Florida. Its unexpected up and down motion caused the rotor blades to strike him. Unexpected? What do you mean? Alright, well. Yep. Darren Hickey, a 51-year-old wedding planner from Horwich, England, died after eating a scalding hot fish cake at a wedding. Ooh. The cake had burned his throat, restricting his ability to breathe. The pathologist who performed the autopsy called the case extremely rare and likened it to the victims who have inhaled smoke during house fires. Hickey previously received a false set of teeth as following a previous event. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. This is one really unlucky wedding planner. Oh, man. Oh. Bad idea. Just don't swallow scalding hot things. Don't do that. I don't know why you would, honestly, given that my first reaction to something super hot is to spit it the fuck out. But I guess that's not everyone. Marvin Hayes, a 75-year-old former car salesman and exotic animal collector, was attacked and killed by his recently purchased pet cassowary. Ooh, that's like a dinosaur. The bird repeatedly kicked the man, which punctured the man's skin and severed the brachial artery in his arms. Hayes was declared dead by the time the paramedics arrived at the scene, and the cassowary was auctioned off to a different owner. If you don't know what you're doing, don't deal with large birds. They are essentially just fucking dinosaurs, honestly. Zephyr, a 24-year-old from Turkey, attempted to escape a community service sentence for inflicting injury by getting himself hospitalized. Not the best decision. He asked a friend to shoot him in the back with a shotgun through 2 pillows to reduce the shot's power. Yeah. Yeah. Pillows aren't gonna do much. I want to know how he had access to a shotgun and didn't know that pillows would not help. Yeah. It works on TV. I don't even know if it does that. What? Oh no. Yulia, the 21-year-old from Belarus, was celebrating her birthday with friends when she tried to pull a 2-year-old daughter out through the car window. Her daughter activated the window control button, closing the window and strangling Sharko. and your 2-year-old kills you. Rip. Sergio, 2020s. 59-year-old was alone in his apartment in Spain when an explosion in a petrochemical plant 3 kilometers away launched a 1-ton iron plate into the apartment above him, causing the ceiling to collapse, killing him. Valentine, Natalia, and Yuri. The trio died while celebrating Dinkitov's wife's birthday in Moscow. During the party, a guest dumped 25 kilograms of dry ice into the sauna. Why the fuck? Which resulted in a large amount of carbon dioxide being released, of course. These 3, along with several others, jumped into the pool, only to quickly lose consciousness, because of course they did. The 3 deaths came as a result of asphyxia due to lack of oxygen. This was all captured on video, because of course it was. The body of a 39-year-old man was found wedged inside the hind leg of a papier-mâché statue of a Stegosaurus. Initial police reports did not suspect foul play. A police representative hypothesized that the individual may have crawled inside headfirst to retrieve a lost mobile phone before his leg became stuck, trapping him inside. Firefighters had to cut the statue apart to extract the body. Police officers believed he may have been trapped in there for a couple of days. Jesus fucking Christ. And no one heard him? Alright. Reminds you of how people were making drinks with dry ice and kids were getting frostbite? Yeah. Not great. Oh. Salman Mirza. The resident of India died after using epoxy resin as a contraceptive instead of the condom, which intoxicated from using the same resin as an inhalant. The man was found unconscious outside of the hotel the following morning, but died of multiple organ failure after being hospitalized. Yeah. Don't inhale, or that's not what that's for. That's... oh god. If you're working with resin, doing any sort of work, there is a reason that you are supposed to be using like masks, like ventilators, because the fumes are not good for you. They are very, very not good for you. So yes, if you are interested in doing resin art of any sort, I guess the most common thing a lot of the time is either jewelry or dice. Yeah, please do make sure that you're in a well-ventilated area and wearing a mask. Eleanor. The 50-year-old from Margam, Wales, accidentally became stuck in a decking well after apparently slipping or losing her balance while cleaning. Her loose and ill-fitting footwear left her unable to regain her footing after losing her balance. Her autopsy revealed she died of positional asphyxia and died through misfortune. That sucks. Oh! Unknown man. A 30-year-old man was fishing with 2 friends at the lake in Brazil when the group was attacked by bees. He and his friends jumped into the lake to escape the bees, but the man drowned and was partially eaten by piranhas. Yeah. Hate that. Oh, I know this story. Maya Murmu. The 86-year-old woman was trampled by an elephant in India. Later at her funeral, the same elephant came back and attacked her corpse by picking up her body and throwing her in the air. Don't fuck with elephants. They will never forget, and they will track you down. Maybe a couple more. Oh. Yogesh. The 24-year-old man died due to burst colon after his friend blew air into his rectum. Why? With a high-pressure blow dryer used for vehicles. The friend was playfully blowing air at him, and when he turned to shield his face, the force of the air was such that it entered his rectum and severely damaged his colon. Oh, okay, so it wasn't on purpose. Alright. I'm not gonna lie, my first thought was some sort of inflation thing. But it is actually just a terrible accident. Ooh, that friend probably feels terrible. Ooh. Yeah, no. Alright, I'll do this last one. Female goat. John Blake, a Royal Marine, was convicted of buggery upon the body of a she-goat, and both were sentenced to death. Blake, however, was pardoned on the grounds of being next to an idiot. Only the goat was put to death. Fuck you. Kill the man too. Kill him. Why just kill the goat? Terrible. It is what it is, though. You know? I suppose, at least. There's one you'll recognize if you scroll down. Okay, well, I'll scroll anyway. Oh, Cocaine Bear. I know Cocaine Bear. Yeah, it's not the goat's fault. Like, did the goat seduce the man? Bah, I'm a goat. Bah, I'm a seductive goat. Look at my horns. No, wait, female horns don't really have horns. Look at my weird eyeballs. Ha! Look at my cloven hooves, or whatever. Oh, that's a thing. The goat used its alluring buzz. Bah. Bah. Goats scream like humans. Yeah. Why are you so good at that? I used to try really hard to be good at making animal noises. There's apparently a lot of other lists about death as well. One is specifically autoerotic fatality. One's the Darwin Awards, because of course it is, and I think I'm gonna put that on my list of things to read. Spontaneous human combustion. Also, death during consensual sex is a list, apparently. A list of inventors killed by their own invention. A list of people who died on the toilet. So honestly, that's a lot of fun things that we can do next time. And then I realized, like, my idea of fun things to read is maybe a little dark. I should maybe get like some actual wholesome things. I did have Crazy Frog up to read. So maybe we'll start with that one and then end with a random death list. Good morning, Ness. Well, the Crazy Frog was asked for by multiple people, so I figured it might be interesting, so we can check that one out next time. I agree. The YouTube emotes are absolutely terrifying. It's just about time to go to bed. Cozy. a good reason. It's okay though. Hopefully I'll still see you in other streams, but honestly, I think that no one should probably hang out if it's, you know, time where you're supposed to be asleep. Good luck with your surgery, Rainbow. Lizards, thank you so much for the super. I appreciate it. Have a good night, Heo. I mean, if you can fall asleep and I just happen to be there, that's fine. But I don't want to, like, be the reason that anyone's losing sleep, you know? I want to, you know, I don't know. I want you guys to be, like, healthy and happy and shit. No. That ship has not sailed. This is another a Cyon, and do as I say, and not as I do. It's very important to get enough sleep. Especially, you know, if you have things that you need to actually do. I know, test subject. I'm in fact not even gonna get on Minecraft today. I'm gonna be good, and after stream, I'm gonna go to bed. I promise. Even if it means I might just lay there for a hot second, I'm going to. No Minecraft today. Does that mean the beholder is in trouble? Maybe. But I'm gonna be good for once. For once. Not often can I say that. No test subject. Sleep is for the weak. I am the weak. Oh my gosh, that just made me think of something that's kind of cringe, but kind of funny. Maybe just to me. Maybe it's only funny to me. Man, so many times I'll like tell people about something that I thought was funny, and they're just like, okay, when are we gonna get to the funny part? And I'm like, I said the funny part. But like, I realized this actually isn't really all that funny. It's just kind of cringe, but that's fine. You know how like there's a lot of VTubers who like it when people call them like a good girl or a good boy? Maybe the reason that like that isn't something that I give a fuck about is just cause like I know it's false. Like if someone's calling me a good girl, they're fucking lying. So it doesn't matter if they're like, good girl, or they like, what a good boy you are. It's all just a lie. Now if you were to just be like, you're a fucking rat. Nah. Because it's impersonal? Maybe. Yeah. Maybe when you're acting like it in the moment. That is such an infrequent thing for me, I feel like. Is it low self-esteem or masochism? Ah, maybe a little bit of both. Yeah, no, Raymo, that's, yeah. Tell me more about the extension on your car insurance. If I knew anything about car insurance at all, maybe I could help you. But alas, all I know is that you could save, 15% or less with Geico. I don't fucking know, man. I don't drive. I should never drive. I probably will never drive. No, I refuse to believe that Gecko's lies. There's no shot it's more, even if they say that. We'll get a couple more bubbles, and then I think we're gonna call it for tonight. Thank you guys, though, for coming and hanging out. I do really appreciate it. I know that there was less Wikipedia reading than we usually do, and a little bit more yapping, and a little bit more silly little ASMR stuff.
But why do I feel the need to be cautious when I go home?
Let me see if I can't read what that was. Thank you, Jello Noel. I do appreciate it. No need for the cautious, you know? I feel like as people aren't being dumb, if people aren't being dumb, rather, living with too much caution means that you're not gonna have a very fun life. And I say this as a pretty paranoid person. But yeah, thank you guys for coming and hanging out. I do appreciate it. Yeah. And yeah, I also know that it was maybe a little bit sillier or darker than per usual. Oops. But yes, please do make sure to take care of yourself. Be it the beginning of your day, the middle, and you're just gonna head home. Or if you're also like me and gonna head to bed and get under the comfy covers. I can't wait. Thank you, Noodles Doodles. I do appreciate that. I think for the most part, my boys pull through okay. Although we'll see how angry it is at me tomorrow, cause oh, it hurts. I do be angry, but I did also really want to hang out with everyone today, so I don't know. I stream because I like, you know, I like it. I like hanging out with my community. I'm really lucky. I said that a lot, but doesn't make it any less true. Yeah, I'm always glad to see everyone. But yeah, thank you for coming out and hanging out. I do really, really appreciate it. Alright. I'll catch you guys next time. Sayonara. Bye-bye. It's a secret. Shh.